let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that, well, it hits close to home for probably everyone. We're talking about the state of our living spaces
Mm-hmm.
and specifically how to, talk about them in English when they're less than perfect.
It's a fundamental everyday topic, isn't it? And we're looking at some material here that's actually designed to give you the practical language. The words and phrases you need for navigating the sometimes messy reality of homes and cleaning.
Exactly. So our mission today is pretty simple. We want to pull out the key vocabulary, the useful phrases, the scenarios from this material, find those essential nuggets hidden within all the domestic details.
Yeah, what's interesting is how this source material breaks down something we all kind of understand, untidiness, into specific language bits. It gives you the tools to be precise.
Precision is good. So
Yeah.
if we start with describing the mess itself, English has this whole spectrum of words. You might hear terms like messy, dusty, sticky,
Smelly, cluttered, grimy.
and filthy.
And each one has a slightly different feel, a different nuance. Like messy often just implies general disorganization, things not put away.
Untidy, basically.
Yeah. Whereas cluttered is specifically about having too many things crammed into a space.
Right, like maybe a desk just piled high with papers and books and stuff.
Exactly. Dusky's pretty straightforward, covered in dust.
And sticky feels, well, it feels sticky, doesn't it? Like spilled soda that never got wiped up properly.
Definitely. Smelly obviously indicates a bad odor.
Can't miss that one.
And grimy suggests a surface that's really dirty, often with like ingrained dirt or grease. Think kitchen surfaces sometimes.
Okay, yeah, and filthy. That sounds like the worst one.
It's pretty much at the far end, yeah. Extremely unpleasantly dirty.
So, thinking about those words.
Yeah.
Maybe, for you listening. Which one describes a spot in your place right now? Is your desk cluttered? Is the kitchen floor maybe a bit grimy near the stove?
It's a good way to connect the vocabulary directly, isn't it, to your own life?
Absolutely. Okay, so beyond just single words, English speakers use some really vivid phrases. These are great.
Yeah, these are the common ways people express, extreme untidiness, often with a bit of drama or exaggeration.
You'll hear things like, it's a total mess in here. Simple, direct.
Or maybe more dramatic, this place is a disaster.
Aha, yeah. And the classic complaint, there's stuff everywhere, just everywhere.
If the smell is the main issue, you might hear, it smells awful in here.
Very direct.
And some phrases paint more of a picture like, it's starting to look like a junkyard.
Ooh, harsh, implying it's full of junk or just total chaos.
Yeah. Or the one that really paints a picture of chaos. I can't even see the floor.
Because there's so much stuff piled up. And of course, the big one, the idiom, it looks like a bomb went off.
Yes. That just means it's incredibly messy, everything's scattered. Thankfully, usually no actual bomb involved.
Let's hope not. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. We've talked about describing the mess, but what about fixing it? Cleaning. That involves a lot of practical language, too, especially phrasal verbs.
Oh, absolutely. Phrasal verbs are just crucial for everyday English, and cleaning is packed with them.
Like mess up. It's the opposite of cleaning. You could say, oops, I messed up the kitchen last night cooking dinner.
Meaning you made it messy.
Right. And then the opposite is clean up or tidy up. Pretty straightforward, make it clean or organized.
And then there's one that can cause some friction, pick up after someone.
Ah, yes. That means cleaning up the mess they left behind, like asking, a bit pointedly perhaps, can you please pick up after yourself?
Definitely implies responsibility.
Yeah.
And if something needs to go in the bin,
You throw it out. Simple. And to clean a table or a counter.
you wipe it down.
Right. And if that room is smelly, like we mentioned,
You air it out, open the windows, get some fresh air in.
the material gives a great example. Let's air out the room. It smells like socks.
Very relatable. Makes the meaning super clear. These phrasal verbs are really the action words of tidying.
So we have the vocabulary for describing, the verbs for acting.
Oh.
How does this all play out in like a real conversation? The material gives us a scenario.
Yeah, a really common one. It describes flatmates, roommates, talking about how clean or unclean their shared place is. And the core issue. One person feels like they're doing all the work, basically.
Oh, yeah, that definitely resonates if you've ever shared a space. So the dialogue shows how you might actually talk about this. What do they decide?
Well, they propose a solution, making a cleaning schedule, a rota,
Okay, practical.
and dividing of the jobs. Like maybe one person always does the kitchen, the other does the bathroom.
Splitting responsibilities makes sense.
And they also agree on a time commitment, like maybe cleaning for just, say, 20 minutes each day. A short burst.
That shows how this language isn't just about complaining, right? It's functional. You use it to negotiate, set rules, solve problems together.
Exactly. It moves from just identifying the mess to actually figuring out what to do about it.
Which, if you think about it, is what practical language is all about, helping us cooperate and, sort things out in daily life.
Couldn't agree more.
And the material doesn't stop there. It wraps up with some really practical, quick cleaning tips, things you can actually do.
Yeah, simple ideas like cleaning a little bit every day so it doesn't become this huge monster task,
Good advice.
making it less of a chore by listening to music or, well, a deep dive like this one maybe.
Huh. Perfect synergy. And opening windows for fresh air, airing out the room, using that phrasal verb again.
They also suggest things like a quick 10-minute tidy in the evening,
Yeah.
just a quick blitz before bed.
And the golden rule for kitchens everywhere: don't let the dishes pile up.
So true. But then, cleverly, it links these actions right back to practicing your English.
How so?
Well, it suggests you actually narrate your cleaning. Talk to yourself, or maybe a language partner, while you're doing it.
Oh, I see. So while you're cleaning, you could say out loud, okay, I'm wiping down the table now, or, right, time to throw out the rubbish.
Exactly. It integrates the language learning into something you have to do anyway. Makes it
Huh.
active.
That's smart. It anchors the language in the physical action you're performing.
Yeah. Makes it stick better, probably.
So with all this language, these phrases, scenarios, tips, it naturally makes you think about your own situation, doesn't it?
Right. The material prompts you to reflect.
Yeah.
Like, what is the messiest part of your home right now? Be honest.
And how do you actually feel when your place is dirty or cluttered? Does it stress you out, or can you ignore it?
And thinking about the action side. Do you prefer cleaning alone? Maybe put headphones on and just get in the zone.
Or do you find it easier, maybe more motivating, to tackle the chores with someone else? Teamwork.
These questions really encourage you to use the language we've just been talking about to think about your own reality, your own home, your own habits.
It's fascinating, really, how a topic that seems so simple, maybe even a bit mundane, talking about a dirty house, actually opens up such a rich area of English.
It really does. You've got descriptive words, idioms, phrasal verbs, language for negotiation,
Mhm.
all in this one everyday context.
It's not just about learning complex grammar rules, is it? It's about being able to communicate effectively about common everyday stuff.
Absolutely. This deep dive really shows that the language you need for daily life, for these practical situations, is just as vital as the language for discussing big abstract ideas.
Yeah, mastering how to talk about chores and messes and tidying up. It really unlocks a huge part of everyday conversation and connection.
It really signals that true fluency includes being comfortable with the nitty-gritty, the practical side of living.
So maybe here's a final thought for you to chew on as you go about your day. Perhaps even as you do a little tidying yourself later. How does being able to actually talk about these simple domestic things in English, using these specific words and phrases we looked at, how might that change the way you connect with people you live with, or even just understanding the conversations going on around you about everyday life?